Thank you for turning up at short notice today. Just before I talk about Joseph Parker, obviously Duco Events has a number of events happening at the moment, so I'm going to update you on where we are on that. First of all, the Brisbane Global Rugby 10s expect announcements regarding All Blacks next week. Of more immediate interest is the NRL 9s. We are having strong ticket sales regarding that event. The Warriors are going to announce that Shaun Johnson is playing this afternoon. I haven't been able to be told what time that is. I'm understanding that's not going to be a press conference, but he will be named in the team this afternoon. The Gold Coast Titans will name their team this afternoon, and I've had word from, in just the last 15 minutes, from the Premiership winning Cronulla Sharks that they're going to name 6 of their team that won the grand final last year in their squad, including, I can give you a couple of names here, Wade Graham, Luke Lewis and Jack Bird. So a lot of the stars are already starting to be named in the Brisbane, in the NRL 9s. And also, I do understand that the Brisbane Broncos are announcing their team on Monday when it's a public holiday here in New Zealand. But that is going to be a very strong squad, and Benji Marshall is involved in that team too. Let's get to the boxing. With the uncertainty over this first title defence, Joseph Parker is here today to announce that he's cutting short his holiday and getting back to Las Vegas. Now, that means a couple of things. First of all, it means, unfortunately, he cannot attend the Halberg Awards, which he wanted to attend on February 9, which is a shame. Obviously, he's up for a couple of awards there. And also, he can't be the water boy for the Warriors, which is also something that we planned on doing. The message really is, the holiday is over. We've got to get back to work and defend this title. So I asked Joseph just to say a few words. In fact, we're going to go real quick. We're just going to do some questions, but I think you want to say something first, yeah?
Oh, no, thanks for being here today. But before we take a few questions, I just want to say sorry to the Warriors. The boys, I promised some of the boys are going to be there to support them and sort of be the water boy and run out there and encourage them so they can win that cup and that trophy, but I won't be there, so I'll be watching from overseas.
So how much earlier are you going back than you originally intended?
I think I was going to have just over 2 months holiday, but I think it's time to get back to work. We're not really sure. I don't think the fight's going to go to press bid. David will sort of expand on that more soon, but I think it's time for me to get back to training, and I need to work, even though there's no date or venue. I need to get back to training and start focusing on the next fight.
Do you miss it? Do you miss the training? Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
No, I miss it. No, I've had a good break, and it was going to be a little bit longer, but I feel like I need to get back into the gym. I need to work and lose some weight.
Put on a bit.
I'll put on a bit. I love those burgers and pies, and it's been a lot of time with family and friends and just enjoying, but now I think it's time to get back to work and focus again.
How much have you lost? I'll put on right. How much do you need to lose?
I think I'm weighing in about 115, 116, so maybe 5 or 6 kgs. But I think that's just me thinking. I haven't jumped on a scale yet, but maybe it might be more. Who knows?
How does this whole process affect you mentally? You know, not quite knowing where it's going or how it's going.
I feel like it's important that it's going to Brisbane now, but I feel like that Duco events and maybe the promoters overseas should come up with just sort of negotiate and come up with a plan before it gets to Brisbane. I feel like it's important to have it all locked in before I go overseas, or it's sometime soon.
So you're disappointed that it's come to this?
I am, but I guess it's both parties or both boxers wanted more money, so it's just about if we can get the right deal.
Considering his background and the fact he's possibly trading off his cousin's name, do you think he deserves some more money? Do you think he's asking for too much?
I feel like he's mandatory, but I feel he's never headlined in the card, or he's never fought on pay-per-view, so I'm not quite sure. I think they're just asking for it's a world title, so he thinks he deserves a lot more money than I think he does deserve, but it's up to them what they come up with.
How do you feel about being on the undercard of a fight? You're used to headlining, being on the undercard of a fight in Britain if it came to that.
I don't mind. I'll take every opportunity there is, but I don't care where the fight is. I fought. Most of my fights have been in New Zealand. People forget that I fought in America twice. I fought in Germany, fought in Samoa. So it doesn't matter where the fight is. I'll be comfortable to fight anywhere.
So, but that'll be a new experience, having 15,000 people supporting the opponent.
Yeah, no, it will be a new experience, and I'm sure I'll feel a bit different. Over here in New Zealand, I have everyone supporting me, but I guess if I train hard, I'm comfortable wherever it is, and it doesn't matter if they're screaming for him. I'll try my best. It'll probably give me more motivation to try and knock him out.
And he could be the perfect opponent for that. You get used to that atmosphere before you maybe have to do that against Joshua.
Yeah, this could be the perfect sort of lead up into those bigger fights. Getting used to it, testing it out, looking for places over there where we could stay and get comfortable with. So I think it'll be, wherever it happens, I'll be comfortable.
If you were to balance it, say, with the amount of money that you want to earn from the fight with where you'd like to fight it, which one is probably more important to you?
Home advantage would be more important. And just giving New Zealanders the experience of coming to another world title fight. It's New Zealand does get a lot of sporting events that happen all the time, but I think boxing or world championship fights, it's pretty up there, and it's a good experience for people to get along and sort of experience.
Okay, I'm going to bring David Higgins in here, right? Just regarding an update on where you're standing on the purse bid, and also I deliberately have put the logo wall up today with where we'd like to be, but there's no guarantee even if we got it in New Zealand, it'll be in Auckland. So where are we at?
So basically, the Duco side is building budgets and projections to work out how much money we think the fight would generate, and based on that we would put a bid in of the highest figure we think we can pay. The Fury side will be doing the same thing, and then it all happens next week in Puerto Rico. They open the envelopes, and whoever pays the most owns all rights to the fight, and whoever loses has no rights. And so the stakes are very high. As Joseph said, we do value home advantage, and I've said it before, Joseph was the most Googled New Zealander last year, more Googled than the All Blacks or any All Black and any Olympian in Olympic year. So there's a massive following. Some people think boxing's niche. It ain't niche when you're the most Googled thing in the country. It's not. It's just mainstream. It's big. And so, if we can get more sponsorship support, we can bid more and have a crack at trying to put the fight in New Zealand. Now, also, it's worth noting that the two camps can negotiate before the purse bid and come to terms, and if that happens, the purse bid will be called off. And so we'll be in ongoing dialogue with the Fury side between now and the end of next week, trying to do a deal.
Do they seem open to the concept of continuing negotiations?
Of course, because they too want to get a deal done, and it just comes down to money, really, at the end of the day, and what makes dollars make sense.
Is this fight harder to have here to get over the line than the Andy Ruiz Jr. fight in terms of what it's going to cost?
Yes, the money that Fury's looking for is substantially more than Ruiz Jr., but I think he's probably within his rights to look for more. Ruiz Jr. didn't have big fan base in America, and the heavyweights have been off the scene a bit in America, whereas the UK market, British fans go to everything. They go to the opening of an envelope. The Klitschko, Joshua's selling out Wembley, 85,000 people. And people say boxing's on the decline. Look, think about that, massive. So Fury, he's got the Fury name. He would generate more revenue in the UK than Ruiz would in America. So they've set their price, and we're negotiating on it.
Still 50-50? How do you rate your chances?
Oh, you mean of
bringing the fight here? How do you rate?
I think we have a chance. Yeah, I wouldn't quite say 50-50. I think there's a reasonable chance we can make it happen here, if common sense prevails.
How many options are you looking at as far as venues and things like that are options to you and what you can afford?
Oh, we'll look at every option for venues. I mean, you have to, because you have to create competition. If you only have one option, they've got a monopoly on you. So you've got to keep all options on the table and negotiate, and the best one rises to the surface.
Right, we might end it there.
Oh, any question? Oh, yeah, we're done.
Yeah. Just one thing I will say is that when Joseph was going for the title, I think Kevin was really adamant, and David as well, about the fact that we wanted to be the mandatory challenger because it gave more negotiating power when it comes to purse. So, we knew that when we were doing it in the IBF, when we went for Joshua. Now it's a case of it's being done on us, so it's no surprise that Fury would be wanting as much money as he possibly can. If you go back to David Tua in 2000, is exactly what Tua had. He worked so hard for 8 years to get the world title shot. It was potentially his one and only world title shot, so they're going to ask for as much money as possible.
Actually, on that note, if we had a voluntary and Fury wasn't mandatory, most heavyweights want a world title shot. Yeah. So if it's voluntary, you can say to the opponent, here's your shot, here's the purse, here are the terms, take it or leave it. And you have all the bargaining power, and generally they'll take it because they want the title shot. Mandatory means you can't. Unfortunately, they've got bargaining power in the deal, and so it's not a case of them being difficult. It's just trying to find market value for the fight.